I'm not an art guy, so I don't look, it's a painting. Like the Mona Lisa don't do that for me, man. First of all, it's a dude, so it's a dude. I mean, what are we talking about? Am I wrong?
No, you talking about the Mona Lisa?
Is the Mona Lisa and it a dude?
No.
The Mona Lisa is a dude. John, am I tripping? I'm tripping. Yes. No, man. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Off the Bench. Of course, I'm DeMarcus, and my boy Ty, he's off today. Got some personal stuff he's dealing with. Hope everything's all right with him. But as y'all can see, I got a special guest with me. I got Mr. Dylan Brown with me. What's going on, Dylan?
How's it going, man? Good to be here.
Hey, man, thank you for coming on with us today's episode. So, first things first, tell the people who you are. What do you do? 'Cause I see you got your Pensacola State gear on.
Yes, sir.
So let's let the people know who you are.
Yep, I'm an assistant at Pensacola State with the men's basketball program.
Okay.
Got the job in July. Getting into the journey, I started as a student assistant at East Tennessee State.
Okay.
So when Steve Forbes, who's the head coach of Wake Forest, was at East Tennessee State, that was my freshman year.
Okay.
So I went to East Tennessee as just a normal student, in-state tuition, trying to get it right.
Yeah.
And ended up meeting Coach Forbes on campus one day, and I was like, Coach, I'd love to help you out.
Okay.
And anyway, long story short, 2 weeks later, he ended up taking the Wake Forest job. Okay. But his assistant, Jason Shea, got the job at East Tennessee State.
Okay.
So I reached out to that staff and got on as a manager there for a year.
Okay.
And that's where I met Coach Heyer.
Okay.
Go through the season at East Tennessee State. Coach Heyer gets a job at Northwest Florida State.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm taking you with me. I'll pay for your school, and you help me I'll put you on scholarship as a coach.
Yeah.
And I said, perfect. Let's
go. You can't turn down that opportunity. That's a golden chance right there. Because most people don't get that opportunity. You're talking about being a manager or like assistant or anything like that. So that's pretty cool that he did that.
Yep. So I told him, East Tennessee, Coach, I'll do anything. I'll get the laundry. I'll rebound every basketball. I just want a chance. I get a chance.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go to Northwest Florida.
Okay.
They won 6 games the year before we got there. We kept one scholarship player. We flipped the entire roster.
Yeah.
Went 31-5, won a national championship in our first year.
Nice.
And then he got the New Mexico State job.
Okay.
So I went out there this past year as a graduate assistant at New Mexico State.
Okay. So how was that?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was a learning experience for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody's got ESPN. They can see the trials and tribulations we went through. But everything's a learning experience.
Absolutely.
So I learned a lot, and it was cool to see on that level, like what goes on at Division I level and everything like that.
This is different. Like I tell a lot of kids in this area, I went to PSC. I actually played there when Paul Swanson was there.
Oh, okay.
So Coach Penner came right after that, and being able to go to the JUCO level, and then go up to the D1 level, and you get to see it is a big difference. I mean, to the scale of the weight room, to accommodations, travel, gear, all that. Then, of course, the fan base and then the arenas you're playing in is a much bigger scene than in the JUCO level.
Exactly.
So that's good that you got a chance. So now, did you play any type of basketball in high school, or did you play any college ball, or you just went straight to
So I played basketball in high school and baseball in high school.
Okay.
I really didn't know what I wanted to do after high school. I was just having fun, just being a kid.
Yeah.
And went to college, where I could go relatively cheap at East Tennessee State. Okay. And then I fell in love with basketball because my freshman year, that was the COVID year. Forbes had a team that went 30-4.
Okay.
And man, they just played together. They played hard. They played the right way. And man, I just couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what got me into the coaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how's your experience been so far with PSC?
It's been awesome. Coach Penna is great to work for.
Yeah.
Going back to learning, like Coach Heyer and Coach Penna, they're both great guys, and they both have high level of success, but they do it completely different ways. So it's good to see. But I love Coach Penna. He's
man, I've known Coach Penna. I'm 36, so I've known him going on 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Like 22, 23 years. I met him when I was in middle school, and then of course my dad growing up. So like it was always that familiarity there. So I was like kind of upset that he became coach after I left, because I'd love to actually play for him.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I talk to him, all the time. I know now he's very busy, of course, with recruiting, coaching, trying to change the program around. The way he's doing it, he's doing a phenomenal job because he's getting a lot of talented guys to come in. That's what I'm noticing.
Yeah.
So what are your day-to-day operations? What do you do on the team?
I do a little bit of everything, a little bit of video.
Okay.
I obviously check on our guys' academics. I just got back from a recruiting trip Monday night.
Okay.
So I left Monday at like
I remember
6.
you was texting me about that. Yeah, you said you had to go to a trip.
Yep.
So how'd that go?
It was good.
Okay.
It was good. Saw some high level players and just trying to do a little bit different,
Yeah.
Trying to get on, everybody says JUCO needs to recruit late, but
yeah.
I mean, if you recruit late, then you got to go against everybody. I'm sure trying to get on kids early.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like do something different.
Plus, I don't think Penna or you or anybody in the program will want to start late just because of now, like I said, the scramble is on.
Yeah, definitely.
So even any guy that you probably were looking at, now it's harder to get them because they've had other people.
And JUCO recruiting is so different since the portal came into play.
Mm-hmm.
And even like when I was at East Tennessee State, that was the year before the portal and the year before the COVID waiver.
Okay.
So it was so different from when I first got in just 3 years ago. Then like recruiting's changed 180 degrees since then.
So with those two additives, what's made it more? Is it made it more difficult, or has it made it a little easier to recruit?
In JUCO, I think it's raised the talent level because these high school kids that would have went mid-major, low major out of high school, they're not getting that same type of recruitment because that mid-major coach that's on the last year of his contract isn't going to take a high school kid that's going to be ready in 2 years. He's going to go to the portal and try to get a grad transfer.
Yes, somebody that's already played.
So to me, I think the JUCO has risen. There's some people tell you that JUCOs went down a little bit because the academic standards to get into Division I.
Yeah.
But for me, the JUCO level's been accelerated because of the transfer portal because you get high school kids.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you get the high school kids, but also you can get the transfers that's played one or 2 years, so they're already collegiately ready for that level.
Yep.
And then that helps bring along the younger guys a lot faster than it would if you'd have brought them in with nobody there.
Definitely.
So I think it's helping, and also I think it's probably improved the coaching too because now you're getting better talent.
Yep.
So now you can play more more styles that you want to play because you can get your point guard, get your stretch big, or get your shooter,
definitely.
Get your defender, so you can do more with that. So so how long have you been at PSC again?
I got the job in July.
Okay.
Yep. So I moved back to the area after New Mexico State. My girlfriend was in Niceville.
Okay.
And I got some family in Milton, so I just moved back to the area.
Gotcha.
And then whenever Coach Penna made some changes to his staff, it's like, Coach, I'm ready to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
man, that program, like I say, it's done a full flip since he's come there. Very impressed. I go to the games all the time.
Oh, good.
Of course, with my schedule between doing all the local stuff I do, and then of course work and everything. The schedule sometimes can be tough, but I'll try to go as many home games as I can.
Yeah, definitely.
And what I've been seeing these last couple of years, man, plus with it going to a state level college, so now you get your 4 years. So I think you get even more opportunity for players to come there too.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of the different level it was versus being a 2-year school. So this year coming up, so what do you think about the team so far? I know you say you just came off a recruiting trip.
Yep.
So what do you think about what you have going into this season?
I like our guys a lot.
Okay.
To be honest with you, just looking at it from afar, I didn't know what to expect walking in. But we got some talented guys. We got some guys that can play at mid-major plus level.
Okay.
And Coach Penna brought back 6 sophomores, and you just can't.
Yeah.
You can't emphasize like how important it is to be old and stay old.
Absolutely.
Especially in JUCO. So I think that's going to give us a leg up. And we brought in some really talented freshmen.
Okay.
Since the new staff got the job in July, so I'm excited.
Cool. So anytime you can bring, I think, and this, I coach at Washington High School too.
Yep.
So in the high school level, I'm sure in the college level, anytime you can bring guys back, it's always good because now
definitely.
they can, like I said, they can bring along the new guys a lot easier for you or a lot smoother because now they can, reiterate what you be saying all the time.
Yep.
Off season, in season, in the weight room, and everything like that. So let's talk about recruiting because I know I've been asked a lot about this, in our area. Hey, DeMarcus, what do you think the issue is with recruiting from this area?
Right.
What would you say to the people that ask that question?
I just think everybody thinks that like, well, this school offered or he could play at this school, and so all the schools around there have to offer, or you know what I mean? And so much of recruiting is relationships and like how it fits into your program.
Gotcha.
Right. So there could be a kid, I don't know, let's just use an example, like in Pensacola. There's a kid in Pensacola that's got good offers, and everybody's like, why is West Florida and Pensacola not? Like we do our homework all the time. We know who the kid is. We know what makes it run and everything like that. But like, is it a fit for our program?
Good.
Like that's what a lot of people don't understand. Because I promise, like we know, especially close, because you start in the backyard.
You would definitely make sense to start here first and see what this pool's doing, then kind of branch out.
It's just a program fit and a mentality and like the the type of relationships that you know what I mean? So there's a lot that goes into recruiting that a lot of people don't see other than he can just play.
Yeah, and I'm glad you say that because, like I said, that's kind of the answer I give him. It's like it's not so much of a disrespect towards the kid or the program that they're coming from. It's just that, hey, we might already have a kid in our program that's like him.
Right, exactly.
So to bring him in, it's going to just clash with the player we already have and kind of mess up whatever system we're trying to develop already.
Exactly, because when you recruit, it's a puzzle piece. You know, I learned that from Coach Heyer at Northwest Florida. He had a puzzle piece, you know. I'm not going to say all of them, obviously, but
of course, you
got your pieces here and your pieces here and your pieces here. And, like, there might be a kid that is a really good player.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you just brought in a freshman that you're going to rely on for the next 2 years.
2 years,
That doesn't fit in the puzzle piece because you get 12 scholarships, you know.
Yeah, that's all.
You need 12 puzzle pieces. You don't need 12 best players aren't going to work. You need 12 puzzle pieces.
Yeah, because you gotta have your glue guy. You gotta have your guy that's gonna just hustle. That's gonna play hard, and then of course you got your primary scorer. You gotta have, if you can, get you a big that can play inside outside because that's what the game is now.
A rim protector.
Somebody that can run the floor. You gotta have somebody wing guys that can guard, that can shoot, dribble, pass, all that stuff. Especially the system you're trying to play. So I agree with you on that. It's more of a fit. So I try to tell young guys, like, look, you want to be able to show a lot of creativity in your game, but at the same time, you want to be a nice piece to a puzzle of where you can possibly go.
Yeah, I was telling a kid the other day when I was on the phone with him. Like he was asking me, like, Coach, what do you think I need to work on? And it sounds contrary to what a lot of people will tell you, but do what you're good at. Don't show a coach what you can't do.
Absolutely.
If you're a hustle guy, go get every offensive rebound, make the right pass. Don't go out there and try to take step back threes. If that's not your game, you know what I mean? And that's what so many kids have a problem with. Like, well, I'm going to show them what they think I can't do. Like, that's not be really good at what you're good at.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I see it all the time, especially in our area, that we have a lot of talented kids, but they love to showcase a lot of times the wrong thing of their game. Yeah. So, like you said, for a coach coming in, or coaches that might look them up online, if I can see more good than bad, then that makes you more, of a piece that I might want to have.
Exactly.
So that's why I try to tell a lot of kids, any kid that I work with or that I coach or talk to, say, listen, you want to showcase them. If you can pass the ball, always showcase that you can pass. But don't showcase that you can't shoot.
Right.
Because once they say, okay, he can pass the ball, but he can't make the open shot.
Yeah.
So now that don't help my system.
Exactly. And it's the same thing in everyday life, right? Yeah. Like I'm pretty good at player development. I like recruiting and things like that. But when it comes to organizational stuff, I'm not very organized in the office, right? So I'm not going to tell Coach Penna, hey, Coach, let me file all our practice plans.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not good at that, so I'm not going to do that.
Exactly. Exactly. So how many like recruiting trips have you been on so far? Because I know you just said you came back from
at Pensacola State.
Yeah.
Obviously, I went to the Panhandle Prospect Showcase thing.
Okay.
And then this is the first one I've taken this year.
Okay.
We're just starting to get ready for 24s, and really, I just wanted to get out before our season really started. And see some kids before we get in the grind of it. Because when the season starts and when we're playing games, I focus on my team.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. I'll call you on the phone and everything like that. But I'm not going every weekend.
No, you got to, man. Because it's like I say, the season's upon you fairly quickly this time of year. Because we might well say this is about to be October.
Yep. So
season starts in November, and in October you kind of want to start doing all your preseason stuff, getting ready for the season. So you don't really have a lot of time to be seeing a lot of people.
Yep, definitely.
So when it comes to recruiting now, are you going out like with a particular mindset of kind of what you're looking for, or does Coach Penna kind of just really give you that blueprint of like, hey, look, we need to look for these guys? I know you just said that y'all already do your homework on certain guys.
Yep.
Do you already know kind of where you're going?
Coach Penna's good in the sense that he trusts his staff.
Okay.
So it's one of those things, like, I know what Coach Penna's looking for. So I'm naturally going to look for that in a player.
Gotcha.
But he's not going to micromanage you if you go bring a kid to the table. Like, well, are you sure he's good at this, or can you really,
gotcha.
like, he's going to trust
your
judgment.
Yeah. Trust your IQ on it.
So it's really fun and easy to recruit for somebody like that.
Absolutely.
Because they trust you to do your job.
Yeah, because I've never had experience with a coach that was, like, say, micromanaged to the point where it's like, hey, man, no, he nitpick everything. But most coaches, like I say, if I hire you on, hey, look, if you tell me you got an eye for a player, I expect you, because you know me and you talk to me every single day, to kind of have a good idea of what I want.
Exactly.
So how important is our academics? Because I know you talked about how you kind of oversee that too as well. So how important is that academics are on point?
It's good. I said I have a certain amount of guys on the team. Coach Belden has a certain amount, and then Coach Q, our other assistant, has a certain amount. So we all have our guys, so it's not too overwhelming. I think I got 4 or 5 guys that I have academics for.
Okay.
But it's important, man, because the way I look at it, if you don't go to a class and turn your assignment in,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to be in the right spot defensively? If you want to take care of the things off the floor
Mm-hmm.
that are just, and a lot of it, I mean, don't get me wrong, like we have some difficult classes, but
Mm-hmm.
Your freshman year in college, if you go and you try and you apply apply yourself to the class,
Yeah.
you really shouldn't struggle that much.
I mean, like I said, I went to the school, man,
Yeah.
and I get it. Some players and some students, there's a learning disability sometimes.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm not talking. I know you're not talking to that type of student or that type of player.
Right.
But for the person that doesn't struggle in that area,
Right.
it's fairly easy.
Right.
Because like I said, I would go to class, and most time they knew you played basketball because you had all your basketball
Yeah,
gear on.
you had all the gear on. Yeah.
So they understood that, hey man, just come in here, don't interrupt, don't be late to class,
Show
don't make a scene, show up and just try. And they're not gonna do your work for you. You still gotta do the work.
You gotta do the work, but
they're not gonna come down on you so hard.
Right.
Because you're kind of slipping a little bit. They'll help you. Hey, they'll give you maybe some makeup assignments, or they'll give you some extra homework or whatever to kind of keep your grades in line.
If you just go to class and do what you're supposed to do, and that's important because you're recruiting the type of person,
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it's like if you don't make that class or you turn in this essay 2 days late, are you going to remember the scouting report on the guy that goes left instead of right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the way I look at academics. So it's important because you got to be a whole person.
So basically, for you, it's like a training tune of your mind, because if you're doing everything right for class, then that means you're going to be doing everything on the floor right.
Exactly.
Yeah. More right than not right.
Yeah.
'Cause I know, because when I was there, Coach Swanson, he would give us a scouting report, and it was pretty detailed.
Yep.
Because it wasn't like, okay, this last game. It was like, hey, his last 8 games.
Yep.
This is what he's done. Here's his percentage for the season and all that stuff. So this is kind of how we want to play this particular player and this particular team.
Right.
So you definitely need to know, where you need to be at the time, of the game for sure.
Yeah, we at Northwest Florida, we use the same scouting reports that Coach Hire used at Wichita State when they went to the Final Four. So I mean, it's that, like the Panhandle Conference.
Yeah.
It's got to be that in depth because
the
level of talent is so good.
Yeah. Because I tell people all the time, like, not just because I played in the Panhandle Conference, but I mean, you go anywhere in the country, and you're not going to find the pool of talent that you see in the Panhandle.
Yeah,
you're just not.
No, you're
it's
not.
The toughest to me. It's the toughest, JUCO or junior college, whatever level you want to call it. It's the toughest in the country because there's just nobody, no other area in the country that's like that with that many talented players. Now you might have, 1 or 2 schools, but to have this amount of schools around the same area, it's just tough.
The depth of the teams in the Panhandle, and to speak on that, like they redid the structure of Florida, right? And they were trying to make it north and south.
Uh-huh.
But when they went north and south, there's the Citrus League now, and it has 10 teams, and the Panhandle team that has 5 teams, right? So they could have merged and made 2, but they wanted it 10 and 5. They wanted it the same way.
Why would they wanted to keep it? That don't make sense.
Just because I think it speaks to the toughness of the Panhandle Conference.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is it possible that maybe later on down the road they might combine them, or?
I mean, I think you could see something like that eventually.
Yeah.
I'm not too well versed on it.
Yeah.
Just whenever I came in, that's what they could have made it 7 and 8 or whatever the case might be, but it was like that. So
let's talk about some of your goals that you have for PSC. Like, so you've been here since July, and what you've seen, from the coaching staff to the facilities to everything going on in this conference. What's a goal of yours that you have this upcoming season?
I mean, it sounds cliche to say, but it's just to get better every day and stack days.
Yeah.
And I love seeing people get better. I love seeing players develop. I love, and to me, it's about getting better every day. And the next school will take care of itself. I used to work with a guy who worked for Forbes, and he would always say, Forbes always said, the next job will take care of itself if you do what you're supposed to do now.
Nice.
So that's kind of what I want to instill into the guys. Just do the best you can right now, and that offer you want it'll come. It'll come. And then team goals, obviously, you want to win every game and everything, but you just want to be. I want people when they play Pensacola to be like, man, those dudes were tough.
Yeah,
like
just being competitive.
It's a dog fight. When you see them, it was a dog fight when you played them. Like you played Pensacola.
Absolutely, and that's all you can want. Because like I say, if you're putting in that work, and then of course it's a dog fight, then I think you're gonna be on the other side of winning more than you are losing a lot of times. Or you're gonna put yourself in place to have an opportunity to win the game at the end of the game.
Yep,
because you're playing hard.
And that's all you can ask for at the end of the day is a chance to win at the end.
Because like I say, with this conference, man, it's such a tough league to play in. And any game you can win, that's hey man, like you say, you want to know that we made the team earn that win or we actually earned that win.
Yep.
So that's the beauty part of being in this conference. So let's talk about off the floor, things, because that's a big thing now with social media. that plays a part in the lives of our young women and men that play collegiate sports. So what's y'all take on that when it comes to social media presence?
I think social media is a big thing. And, people oftentimes you say social media with recruits, they look at it as a bad thing. If you use it the right way, it can really help you.
It's a very vital tool for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I would be lying if I said I wasn't on Twitter looking for players sometimes. You know what I mean?
I'm in this, with this podcast and what we do, I'm always on Twitter or X or whatever it's called.
Whatever you call
it now. I don't know. Somebody told me the other day, say, man, they call it Twitter X. I was like, whatever, man. All I know is a lot of times between that and between Facebook and Instagram, I'm always on there looking for breaking news on stuff, just helping myself keep myself sharp on what I bring to the pod. So that's why it's definitely important. But like you said, as long as you're using it for the right reasons and the right, things, and not putting out the bad stuff that can, hurt yourself individually as well as hurt the program.
Right, exactly.
So it's important to have, and I'm sure like for y'all, it probably helps with recruiting too.
Yeah.
Because then it allows you to see players in kind of their own natural self, because not in, it's like, hey, they're not part of our school, but let's see how they carry themselves off the floor.
Yeah, and it's, to be honest with you, it's the quickest way to get in contact if you don't have a connection to the kid. You see a highlight video.
Yeah, you can get on Twitter.
It looks pretty good.
IG, all that. So it is, like I said, it makes the ability to talk to them a lot faster, especially without having to deal with maybe anybody that's a part of their group, entourage, whatever you want to call it.
And you kind of
get around that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you just brought it up. So have you ran into any issues? I know you haven't been here long, but in the past, have you ran into the issues where you try to connect with a player and kind of get some
there's definitely
block from that?
There's definitely some of that goes on.
Yeah.
There's you got I'm not going to say it's like this always.
Yeah.
But there's an AAU coach and a high school coach, and one saying he's got the juice with the kid and he's going this and he's taking him this way, and this guy's got the juice with the kid and he's going somewhere else. Like there's been I think it happens a lot. But you just gotta really get to know the kid. It comes down to relationships with the kid.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I still think that the kids have a lot of say in where they want to go.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some of that. My trainer here, my AAU coach here, my high school coach here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as long as it's like you say, as long as the different parties aren't trying to overturn the next party, if they're all kind of working together as a cohesive group, it can be vital. Real good for the kid, valuable for the kid.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's when you have the trainer that's been training since he was in elementary school that thinks he should play here, and then the dad or mom thinks he should play here, and then this high school coach like, no, I got a better opportunity here.
Yep.
That's when it kind of pulls the kid in too many directions.
Yep.
So I think it could be more harmful.
And people, all those guys get a bad rep sometimes from college coaches, but they all care about the kid. They just care about him in different ways.
Yeah,
the high school coach wants him to go to a place, not all the time, it's just an example. The high school coach wants him to go to a place where he can play right away and contribute, right?
Yeah.
The AAU coach may want him to go to a higher level and play in 2 years because he thinks he can play at that level and it's going to make his program look good. The trainer might want him to go to another school
because of that puzzle piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they all care about the kid. It's just different ways of going about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, I know you like to say relationships with family and coaches of the kid, how important is it to have a relationship with the high school coach, being now in this program, and then of course these kids are in this area, have y'all talked about that or looked at that, like maybe, hey, we need to start really developing? I know you like to say being at the Panhandle Prospects, which they've been doing a great job putting on events for the high school kids in this area. So how important have you, taken in the fact of creating that relationship with the high school coaches?
I think it's very important. I'm a young guy, but I'm kind of old school in the fact that if I'm recruiting a kid, I always call the high school coach first.
Gotcha.
Because I don't want him to think that I'm trying to backdoor the kid out of, what I mean? Like I want everybody to be on the same page because I want the best thing for the kid. Because it's at the end of the day, it's a player. It's all about the players.
Absolutely.
Like I enjoy seeing players get better. I make a little bit of money on it, but it's like it's not enough to It's about the players getting where they want to go.
Exactly, because when I first got into coaching and training and player development, because that's more of my focal point. I try to look at, like I say, what a coach would see in a player.
Right.
So I try to develop, guys and girls on the fact, like you say, hey man, coming from this area, you got to be a good fit for a program in this area or a program somewhere else.
Right.
So I try to focus on teaching them, like, look, we want to develop the right attitude, develop the right, abilities that you have on the floor. so that way when a coach see you, they can see a piece.
Right.
Not just see another player, because there's players every year that come out that everybody think they can play college ball.
Exactly.
But can you do all the other things that's necessary to be part of a program?
Going back to the Panhandle Prospect Showcase, there was 40 some.
Almost 50 kids.
Yeah, almost 50 kids there.
Yeah.
And that goes back to us doing our homework.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't come there just to see all 50 kids.
No, of course.
We showed up. We had about 6 kids.
Yeah, specifically.
Right? Yeah. We were watching. We were watching how you interacted with your teammate after you got taken out of the game, or like what your body language was.
Say that again, Dylan. Say that again for them so they can hear it in the back.
We were looking
head in the back.
We were looking at what you did when you came out of the game and interacted with your teammates. Or like when you turned the ball over, you had, like, say your teammate started the cut and didn't finish it, right? You throw it out of bounds. How do you react?
Yeah.
Whenever it's your turnover, technically.
Yeah.
But really, the guy should have kept going, because you should never fake a cut.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, so when I go to an event, like, I already know the five or six kids that can play, or they all can play, but like the 5 or 6 that I can take at my level.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to see how you do, like how you interact, how you talk to the official. After the game, like, are you going to, like, how are you talking to your buddies in the stands? Like, I'm looking at the little stuff like that when I go to an event like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's that, and I'm glad you said that, man, because I think everybody that strives to play any sport, basketball, football, baseball. I mean, you play baseball. What position you play in baseball?
Shortstop.
Pitcher. Okay. So you know as well, being a part of basketball now in your life, and then of course playing baseball. That's what it's about. It's not just, okay, you're just uber talented kid. That's great.
Yep.
But like you say, when that ball gets turned over or you miss a shot, what's your body language saying?
Yep.
How you reacting to the coach that actually is part of this? Know that he's not coaching you per se, but he is a part of this event.
Yeah.
How are you reacting to him?
Exactly.
How you react to your family in the stands that might have wanted you to play a certain way in this event.
Exactly.
And then of course the heckling or whatever is going on the sideline, how you react to all that. Because like you say, if you can't handle that event level, then playing in my conference is going to be tough for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that goes on a lot.
Yeah.
Because I know when I played at Chipola, it was Chipola different, man.
Chipola's rough.
It's rough. Northwest Florida's rough.
Yeah.
Gulf Coast.
Gulf
Coast Italian is rough.
Yep.
TCC is rough.
Yep.
So when you go into these different schools, man, they know about you just like we know about you.
Yep.
So they know, okay, this kid here, he can't handle the trash talking. So get in his ear and make him get upset, because guess what? He gonna be focused on what we doing more than what he should be doing.
Yep, exactly. We went to Chipola when I was Northwest. Coach Heyer coached at Chipola for 5 or 6 years and really successful there.
Yeah.
It was his first game back. We were at Northwest. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. I know that packed crowd.
Oh yeah.
I already know they was on his back
and
saying everything in the book to try to get y'all off y'all.
Yep. They had the student section in that far right corner.
Yeah. That far right corner gets crazy.
You couldn't run any offense on that side.
No. It's just like being at Duke, man. They all on your back. Trying to get you to mess up. So
let's just set the middle ball screen and hope we can get downhill.
Exactly. So when it comes to, like, play style, I know Coach Penna, I'm trying to say how I can put it. He likes to get up and down the floor.
Yeah. Yep.
So have y'all talked about kind of the play style that y'all want to kind of play this year? Are y'all trying to keep playing that more up tempo play, or are y'all trying to go to more of a half court?
I think everything with Coach Penna starts at the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I that's the way I was brought up in the game. Like, it started on defense. I used to, going back to recruiting a little bit, it said recruit offense, coach defense. You can fix a guy that doesn't want to play defense because the chair on the sideline will teach him that he's not going to play.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So going back, everything starts at the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah.
And Coach Penna is really, really good at teaching half court defense. And what we like to talk about is how many free baskets can we avoid for the other team? Like, let's make them work for every basket they have to make.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what Coach Penn has been stressing. And then, a good defense will lead you to offense. So
because you get some deflections, you get a rebound, good outlet.
Yep.
Or like I say, get a steal if you can. That can go right into an opportunity at the rim or an open shot.
So we'll definitely get up and run whenever we can. We're not gonna play in the 40s or anything like that. But for us, it starts on the defensive end of the floor, and then the offense will take care of itself.
Gotcha.
Yep.
What's the shooting looking like, Dylan? I got some shooters, man.
I like it.
I got some shooters because I've noticed that Coach Penna, I've seen that, because I know that's not normally what he goes for. But I'm noticing he's starting to really getting to the three ball a little bit.
Yeah. So Jalen Kiago, returner from last year, 6'5", good body, shot over 40% from three last year.
Yeah.
he has a chance to really take off and go to a pretty high level after here.
Gotcha.
I like him a lot.
Okay.
Going to shooting, Isaiah Sutherland.
Okay.
6'7" kid from OCP
Okay.
in Orlando.
Yeah.
Can really shoot it.
Okay.
Is coming along really nice.
Yeah.
Freshman kid.
Okay.
We got a lot of guys that can, like Colin House.
Okay.
6'8" kid from Australia.
Okay.
Can really, really shoot it.
Okay.
So we got some shooting. I think our offense will be okay.
Mm-hmm. This defense.
We just gotta be really, really good on the defensive end of the floor,
Yeah.
and then just make the easy play on the offensive side.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Because I think, like I said, with that array of players that you just mentioned, y'all should defensively, as long as everybody know where they're supposed to be, y'all should be fine. Because with that height, with the size that you're gonna have, that should help you protect the rim a lot
Yeah.
better. But then, like I said, getting up and down the floor, just want to make sure everybody's able to maintain that level of cardio that's gonna be necessary for that type of game play.
Exactly.
So I don't know if Coach Penna has talked to you about this. I know back in the day we used to do a lot of playing during the summer.
Yep.
And he would bring in guys that played there before, or just guys that he knew that played professional ball. Have y'all talked any about that, like off season, summer, runs and stuff like that? Have y'all talked about bringing that back?
We definitely did some of that this summer.
Okay.
Which was we would have guys that when I was at Northwest come back and play.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good. And then we got up here to Pensacola,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, I didn't know a lot about Pensacola's history.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And then you see these guys walk in the gym, it's like, man, these guys can really play.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
former players.
Yeah.
And so it made our guys a lot better in the summer, but we definitely had open runs in the summer, just to get, especially for the freshman young guys.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
Like this guy was all SWAC for team.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So it was good for our freshmen to really see that.
Yeah, I mean, I love it when anytime I can get my high school guys, I can get them in that environment, because, like you said, then they get to see, like, okay, here's the level that you're striving to be at, and you realize real quick, are you there, or you still got a lot of work to put in?
Exactly.
So, of course, some kids in the gym gonna be like, they can keep up with that, but a lot of kids get a real awakening of, oh man, I gotta get stronger.
Yep.
I got to work on, my body when it comes to being able to take bumps.
Yep.
I got to work on shooting. I got to work on finishing, because, like I tell them all the time, when you get to that next level, these guys 6'8", 6'9", they just athletic as you.
Yeah.
So when they get to the rim, they up there with you.
That's the biggest adjustment for a high school kid coming to the college level is the finishing around the rim.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so you don't play against 6'9" and 6'9" all the time in high school.
I mean, you doing this in the summertime, because if you play with the right AAU team.
Yep.
You do experience that. You either playing with somebody 6'8" and taller, or you're playing against somebody 6'8" and taller that's can play inside outside just like a guard, or maybe not even play like a guard but just be able to shoot the ball inside outside. Right. So you get a little bit of that in the summertime, but like I say, regular season and into the playoffs, you really don't get that. So that is a struggle for a lot of kids, and I agree with that. So I know you say you talked about you do player development. So have you done a lot of that? 'Cause I know with you coming in the summer, I know that's kind of tough to really do a lot of that. Have you been able to do any of that?
Yeah. We have individuals every day with some guys, and I'll be honest, I took it from Coach Heyer. That was his calling card.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it was his Division I assistant time. He was at LSU, Wichita State. Like his thing was player development.
Okay.
And whenever I was a manager, I was at every workout. Getting the ball out of the net or throwing the tennis ball back.
Yeah.
And so everything I took, I learned from him. And it's we get the 6-pound weighted basketballs in there with the tennis balls and the cone. Because what players don't realize is, if you focus on catching the tennis ball or focus on catching something, whatever we're throwing that day, like the move will take care of itself with the 6-pound ball.
Oh,
you just focus on catching it, with your hand-eye coordination.
Absolutely.
The move will get, it's become second nature.
Yeah. It's muscle memory at that point. It's all muscle memory, because that's all you're teaching.
And then that 6-pound ball makes you get lower. You want to play low. So it develops your stance. It develops your ball handling ability, your passing ability, your hand-eye. So a lot of that player development stuff I took from him. And we're getting better at it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, man, I think, man, you coming to be a part of the program, I think it's going to be great for Coach Penna, because I can definitely tell just from talking to you, I know you watch a lot of what we do here on the pod.
Yeah, definitely.
So I thank you for your support, and everybody out there watching. As always, we thank y'all for y'all support. So I think you being a part of the program this year and moving forward, I think it's definitely going to help, because, like I said, sometimes being that younger coach, you can kind of help the older coaches kind of see what's really going on landscape wise.
Yep.
And I think you'll be that eye for Coach Penna and the rest of your staff to kind of help with, talking to the players, of course, guiding the players in the direction that y'all need them to be in. So when does the season start for y'all?
So we go to Orlando October 14th.
14th,
and
okay.
play in our Jamboree.
Okay.
And then season starts the first week in November.
First week in November.
I think that's the 3rd or the 4th. We'll be at Mariana playing against in the Chipola Classics.
Okay.
We play Colin and Southwest Mississippi.
Gotcha. When is your first home game?
That'd be against Reed Tech.
Mm-hmm.
That's November 7th, I want to say, or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, the first weekend there.
Yeah. Because I was going to reach out to Coach Pinnacle. I definitely want to start coming to more of the games.
Yeah, definitely.
And seeing, how can we, kind of collab, with the home games too as well. Because like I said, my main thing is, anytime I come to a live event, it's of course a showcase the program, showcase the guys, and give everybody an opportunity to be seen. Because I know in this area, that's kind of the biggest struggle that I've noticed. Yeah. It's just people being able to see, but being seen in the right way.
Exactly.
Because you just don't want to put people out there and then it's all bad stuff. You want to put a lot of good. Of course, you want to show a little bit of, like I said, growth opportunities.
Right.
For players, and then, of course, for whatever program that you have a chance to work with. So let's talk a little bit. Now, we've talked about college. We talked about high school. We talked about the area. But, walking into this episode, man, we found out some breaking news.
Yep.
So I want to get your take on it.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it a lot.
John, he answered that way too fast, John. He answered that way too fast. He didn't let it sink in. And for anybody that's wondering what we're talking about, so I hope you're not living under a rock. If you're watching this podcast, make sure, like I say, you share this video, like this video, follow us here on Facebook, on Instagram, all of our social medias, and on TikTok, everywhere that we are. So breaking news is Damian Lillard just got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. So you got Greek Freak and Dame Dollar together.
Yep.
So elaborate a little bit more, Dylan. Why do you like this trade?
I think it lets you take Giannis off the ball a little bit more. And I think he'd be really good getting the ball out of his hands a little bit more in playoff situations. Because it's easy. All five defenders to guard the ball when he's got it. Mm-hmm. But if Dame has it in his hand and then Giannis is in the corner and he shoots it from the right side, Giannis can go get you know what I mean? Like, it gives you something else to think about.
Okay. I can't really talk against that because that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
I mean, because just like I said, even on their playoff run when they won the championship, a lot of teams build that wall to defend Giannis.
Exactly.
If you can put one person in front of him and he got to deal with two more on the back end of that wall, that first level, it makes life a little more difficult for him. Mm-hmm. Love Drew Holiday. Hate they had to lose him. Yeah. Because he's a seasoned vet.
Tough player.
Defender. I mean, he had his moments, when they needed him to be a scorer because he didn't come there for that.
Right.
But when he needed to be a scorer, they was able to get that out of him. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of reason why this trade happened is because of the Chris Middleton situation.
Yep.
Because he hasn't been, not saying he's been a problem, but his health hasn't been there the last couple of seasons. Yep. And I think they just like, hey, man, we got to put somebody else here with Greek. So while Chris, now he can really rehab and get back to the Chris Middleton we know him to be. Yep. So now you got him, Dame, and Greek on the floor.
Yep. And if you have all three of them healthy with two shooters and Giannis, I don't know how you stop it.
I mean, it's tough.
Yep.
Because we already know Giannis he's gonna have a huge impact on the game defensively and offensively.
Yep.
Now Dame, he's shooting for 45 feet.
Yep.
And wherever he wants to shoot the ball.
And he can take over a game too. Yeah. He can just take it over and win it by himself.
And he's coming into a conference that, like I say, it's not as strong as the West. Yep. So now I think you're gonna, and of course you're gonna see him on TV a whole lot more now. Yep. Because of that. Yep. And then I just think his impact is gonna be immediate on that team. I definitely think they're gonna be the Eastern Conference favorites right now going into the season. But I'm excited, man. I'm happy to see him go to a team that he can actually compete.
Yep. And Dame went to Weber State. It's about the right fit. Like the best
NBA
go. Players played at mid-major schools.
That's what I was just about to say.
That's what people don't realize.
That's what I'm about to say. So, basically what we just talked about for this whole, episode is that he went to a school that a lot of people don't know about. Yep. But then he went there, became a very big piece and great fit for that program. Got drafted to the right team at the right time. Yep. And then he developed and became the megastar that he is now.
Exactly.
And I'm just happy for him to be able to go to an organization where he can compete. Because like I said, I know he was talking about Miami, but I don't think you get mad when your agent calls you say, hey, man, you going to Milwaukee.
Yeah, I don't think
you get mad. I mean, Portland is, not cold, but it's kind of like wet cold.
Yeah.
But then you go to, you go over here to Milwaukee, it's gonna be cold, but I'll deal with that for Greek.
Yeah.
All day long.
I think so too. And just going like, CJ McCollum went to Lehigh.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, everybody uses Steph Curry.
Oh yeah, Davidson. Yeah.
But I mean, there's Kawhi Leonard at the San Diego State when they were in the Mountain West. You know what I mean? So
you got Murray State.
Yep.
What's his name with the Murray State?
John Morant.
John Morant.
Yep.
So you got John Morant come from Murray State. I mean, you look at it, it's countless guys that went to these mid-major or low D1s, and then of course went to the NBA and became megastars.
Yep. It's all about the fit.
It's all about the fit. So that's just perfect for what you said, and that should let anybody watching this episode or thinking about, hey man, what's going on? Why I'm not playing, or why I went to this school and the coach not really vibing with me. Hey man, it's not that the coach don't necessarily like you, just not a good fit for what he's doing.
Exactly.
So you need to go somewhere else. But yeah, man, that trade is wild, man.
Yeah.
It's complete wild. But I love it. It's just gonna make the NBA season coming up even better. Having Dame in Milwaukee with Greek, I think it's gonna be a great fit. I don't know. I'm not gonna say championship first year, but because I mean we did a lot of that with other teams. But I'm definitely gonna say Dame's he's gonna go to another level now.
I think so too. Yep. He gets a kind of a refreshed career. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
New start, new place, playing with talented guys. I think it'll be exciting for them
because he's still young. He's still got a lot of basketball left in him, and I also want to applaud Portland.
Yep.
For doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, for somebody to, go through everything they went through in your lowest moments of your organization, to getting it up to where you was competing a little bit, but then, of course, you had to get rid of some pieces to kind of rebuild, and you allowed him to go somewhere where he can compete. Because I was worried about that. I was thinking, hey, man, they might send this guy somewhere where he don't want to go, and he be stuck.
Yep. So
actually, he get to go somewhere and compete. So Dylan, tell the people, man, before we get out of here, tell the people they can follow you at, whether it be your personal or the team.
Yeah. My personal Twitter is Dylan Brown Hoops.
Okay.
DYLAN. Brown Hoops, no space, and then just simple, short and sweet.
I like it.
And then obviously go to our Facebook page, Twitter page, Pensacola State Pirates, PSC Hoops.
Okay.
Follow Coach Belden.
Okay.
I don't know his off the top, but just get connected with us. Part of me coming on the pod was I want to get out in the community and only bring people to the games because I think that's an important piece of it.
Yeah, man, I'm thankful for you reaching out to us because, like I said, anytime I can collab with people in this area, of course, and give you an opportunity to be seen and heard, and then, like I say, connect with other people in the community, that's going to be big for you.
Definitely.
And it's only going to help, of course, my relationships with other people in this community too as well. And, Coach Penna, like I said, we go way back, so I know he'll be excited to see you on the pod.
Yeah.
Did he know you was coming on?
I don't know if he did or not. I'm sure he'll see it though. I'm sure he'll see it.
All right, don't worry. I'm when I, of course, when we post it, I'm gonna tag him in it, tag all y'all stuff in it. I'll just have you send me everything, so I make sure I put it in there correctly, so I can tag you all the way around. But no, I think he'll be happy to have you on here to see, like I said, the connection that you're making, and plus he knows me, so he know that I'm not out here trying to make y'all look bad or anything like that. So, but man, I want to thank you again for coming on. Really appreciate it. Of course, we'll get back up together later on down the road, especially as the season get closer to coming, and off season we'll definitely talk again. But Dylan, man, I appreciate it, man, for you coming on, man. Absolutely. As always, man, we want to thank y'all for watching. Be sure to comment down below. Let us know what you thought about today's episode, and let us know if anything we can implement for the next episode. We'll do our very, very best. Also, follow us on all of our social media, which is listed down below. And make sure you like, subscribe, share this content, let everybody know about what's going on Off the Bench. And, man, as always, y'all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next episode. Until then, peace.